Hey everyone, Brendan Snyder here. Thanks so much for joining me, and welcome to the first official Record Store Meetup that we're doing here. And I should see if this will work. I'm going to just send this thing around and see if we can see the people that are out here. Everyone can wave and say hi. So we got people shopping out here, and we're going to do a little Q&A here. If people in the store want to throw out questions, we can do that. I've got a list from some of you guys that are watching here, so we're going to start in with that. I guess we'll take the first one here. John S., and he's asking, I don't know if he's here or not, I've met some Johns already, but this is for everyone. What band artist do you have the most material from?
Ooh, nice.
Right.
Oh. So are you starting this one? Or?
No, I'll let you two do this. I actually have to think about it. So I wrote them down, but I didn't think about this yet. So I'm getting these spur of the moment, just like you guys. I wanted this
John
to be...
Mellencamp and Soundgarden.
Really?
Everything. 12 inches, every color released for Soundgarden.
Yeah.
All the reissues, and John Cougar, I just love him so.
And you buy
if
multiple
I see it, I just buy
formats
it.
too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So
Nice.
I've got. I mean, first of all, I'm wearing my Yes shirt.
Yeah.
And I know if we're including side projects and stuff, I know I've got
That
over.
should count.
Okay, then I've got over 150 CDs of Yes and Yes related.
Wow.
So, which is surprising now that I'm thinking about it, because I was going to say Pink Floyd, but I
Yeah.
actually think I have more Yes related stuff.
Well, for me, it's Johnny Cash. I got a crap load of Johnny Cash, but this is another strange one. There was an artist named Rod McEwen. I have over 100 records of him.
Wow.
And he did like folk, spoken word, classical type stuff. It's kind of out there, but I don't know. I got a connection to him.
Okay.
And I bought like 100 records of his. So,
I think that's
plus
awesome.
I have I think I have like 40 of his CDs too.
And does any of that stream? Meaning, like you've got if there's 100, you said 140 records.
He's got he's got 100 plus records.
I mean, there's just so much stuff that isn't out there for streaming, and that's why I will have the 150 CD collection that I've got of Yes stuff. Because so many of those projects are out of print.
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to find them kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess I'm going to see. Is anyone have a question? Want to throw it out, or should we continue on with ones that I've got?
What is your favorite Yes album?
Okay, so just in case you guys didn't hear it on here, what is my favorite Yes album? And was I talking to you about it earlier? Somebody in here Drama, and they were nuts that I had said it's Drama. Now, I will say this, of the classic era, Close to the Edge. I love that album, that's my favorite, but I reach for Drama all the time. So that's the one I have to go with.
Yeah, I'd probably say Close to the Edge, but I also like Tales from Topographic Oceans if I want to go out there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
And then, I don't know, I have a soft spot for Tormato.
Yeah, that's
like
a good
that.
one.
I think that's cool. I think Tormato is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's a great record.
Do you listen to Yes?
Close to the Edge stays close to me.
Close to the Edge is a great
Only
album,
because it's
yeah.
the first thing I heard by them, so it's
Right.
always gonna that's the
Oh,
resonating
yeah.
thing, like we talked about
Right.
yesterday.
The one
Yeah.
that got you into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just having a conversation with someone about favorite Pink Floyd, and I love Division Bell. And I know that that's one that a lot of people don't like, but that was the first one for me.
They're gonna say you're not a Pink Floyd fan, man.
I mean,
I get
again,
that.
when I always,
Momentary Lapse of Reason.
I always have to do it. I always have to say, well, of the classic era, Animals is my favorite, and that appeases them. And it's true. They're two completely different sounding,
Yeah.
Right.
even bands. I would say that at, but I love Division Bell. That's the one that got me into the band in
Do we
94.
divide bands up
No.
based on that?
I
No,
don't.
it's still Pink
It's
Floyd,
still Pink
right?
Floyd.
I understand.
I have to go with The Wall. I love The Wall.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's my number one. But I agree with you. Animals kicks butt.
Yeah.
And then Wish You Were Here is awesome as well. So Wish You Were Here could be a close second for me.
It's my
Momentary
second.
Lapse of Reason in my top 5.
Really?
I love that record.
It's a good
Of
record.
all time or top 5?
Learning to
of Pink
Fly.
Floyd?
Top 5 of all time.
Whew.
Is,
Learning to Fly is a great tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of the remix versus
So-
the more organic sounding version that they've done now?
We had a remix discussion where I didn't like the remixes at first, whether
Right.
it be the White Snake.
Yeah.
And then I got into it, and but when I first bought the double LP of the Momentary Lapse of Reason reissue, I couldn't. I put it on and I took it off before I even got through.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way, this is not the record I know.
It's not what you
This
remember.
is not what I fell
Yeah.
in love with. And then I shut myself up and I said, just give it a chance. And I put it on and I think it's beautiful. It's not as good as the original.
Right.
Up there, look at Bob holding it up.
Yeah, he's got it in the back.
Bob actually told me to give it another chance.
Yeah.
He said, just sit down
I'm
and
glad
try
that
it.
you did. I like
It's
it
great.
myself.
It's
And
totally
yes,
great.
it's different, but you can still go out and get the classic stuff.
Yes.
He hasn't taken it out of print.
Yep.
Right?
They are there for us.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Obscured by Clouds.
Yeah.
Great album. And the soundtrack for More. I just love that. I have a soft spot for that album as well.
How come?
It's sort of like, as an album, I like the sequence of the songs. And there's a lot of instrumental stuff on there as well. It's out there, kind of psychedelic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I dig it. It's a
that's
cool
cool.
record, yeah. Plus, it's got the Nile song on it, which is one of their heaviest tunes.
That's true.
Yeah.
I got another one here from one of our viewers, Thunderstruck Triple Z. And this one's for you, Anthony, specifically. What is the best-selling hard rock or metal box set in the store?
I think it's going to vary on what comes out. When it came out,
Right.
It's funny, Skid Row just came on. We got the Skid Row boxes
Yep.
that held all the studio albums, CD and LP. They sold well.
Okay. Would you say Tool?
No,
No.
no, because they bought it on Amazon. So it is a great selling box set.
Right, but
just
not for you.
in the smaller stores.
Right. Well, you weren't able to bring it down to the way that Amazon undercut the price on it.
They sold it for
Yeah.
$130. That's what I pay for it.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Right. Exactly.
There's no competition.
Yeah.
But I would, box sets are a finicky, weird thing.
Yeah. Black Sabbath or the Aussie ones sell well for you here, or the White Snake?
The White Snakes sell good.
They're
no matter what
reasonably
he puts
priced.
out in those
Yeah.
boxes, and they're reasonably priced.
Right.
The Sabbaths sell good.
Yeah.
I mean, they sell everything sells. It
Right.
sells good, but
Yeah.
I think the one that we had the most women on might have been the Skid Row.
Okay,
And Skid Row
interesting.
came on just as that question
I
was
know,
asked.
that was perfect
That's pretty
kismet
cool.
for that. Right.
I gotta pick that box set up.
It's awesome.
Oh, it's great.
I also
Well,
want the Overkill box set as well, with the early albums. Yeah.
all right. Any questions I can take from the audience, or we'll continue?
Favorite Deep Purple album?
Wow, favorite Deep Purple
Oh,
album.
Fireball.
Yes.
Yeah, with
Shades.
Anyone's Daughter. I love that too.
Yeah. I think I'd have to go with Fireball as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
On it. Yeah.
Shades of Deep Purple.
Shades.
I don't know why.
Yeah. That's
just-
great. No.
It punches me somehow every time I hear it. I love it.
Yeah. I like In Rock too.
Right.
Taste the Band album.
Unfixed
I mean-
Band's good. Yeah.
And that question came from the captain, who's wearing a Captain Beyond shirt.
Captain told us it was coming.
That's right. And but yeah, Shades. I mean, totally makes sense then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like all eras, and of course, I've mentioned this, and if you guys have been reading in music news and whatnot, but Steve Morse stepping down from Deep Purple is like been a gut punch for me.
He was a
And
great
I know he's
player.
not Richie Blackmore, and it's not he's not an original member in that regard or whatnot, but with the band for 28 years,
Yeah.
I've loved those albums.
He served
In fact,
the
the
band.
last 3 albums that they put out, some of the best stuff
Yes.
they've done. They've had this huge resurgence, in my
Yeah.
opinion, in terms of quality and what they're doing. The last album, Whoosh, so good.
It's a really good album.
But of those 3, Now What, I think is my favorite. That is a classic. Somebody in a recent question and answer that I did asked if there were any newer albums that I feel are classics. And I mentioned Deep Purple's Now What.
And then now what?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Like,
and now what
man, what are we gonna do?
Didn't they have an album called Perpendicular?
Yes.
Yes.
That was a really good
First
one too.
with Steve Morse.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
1996.
I saw Deep Purple a few years back with Judas Priest at Bethel
Really? Deep
in
Purple and Judas Priest.
in New York. Yeah.
Nice.
And
Who was
Priest,
better?
Well, it's funny because Priest opened up for Deep Purple.
Good.
Okay.
And it was crazy because Priest is just out there and they're just metal.
Yeah.
And then Deep Purple came on and
Right.
they were, of course, doing the more blues rock thing. So
Right.
I almost felt like Deep Purple should have opened for Priest.
No kidding. Okay.
I don't know,
Yeah.
just for the.
The intensity.
Flow of
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, both bands were out. Deep Purple was great.
I mean, how do you top riding a Harley out on
Yeah.
whatever kind of motorcycle he rides out on?
And again,
stage,
the only
you
thing
know?
with Ian Gillan, I love Ian Gillan, he doesn't have a scream anymore. You know,
Right.
he can't do the scream. But,
Yeah.
Still in.
Yeah,
but he's still Ian,
still
yeah.
Ian,
I
right?
mean, he's still great.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. All right, let's see. We got another one on here. This is a question for everyone here,
Yeah.
and it's again from Thunderstruck Triple Z, and it's what is your favorite, most anticipated reissue from this year? The favorite or most anticipated reissue of 2022.
Well, we were just talking about The Cure.
Wish.
They're coming out
Yes.
with a reissue of Wish, and I'm looking forward to
I'm
that.
super excited. 3 CDs.
It's got one of my favorite
3
songs,
CDs
A Letter to Elise.
Yes.
A Letter to Elise is a great freaking
That's a
song.
classic album.
I think
Friday I'm in
customer-wise, the Alice in Chains Dirt double LP set that's
Really?
coming out for the 30th anniversary.
Okay. Any
I think-
bonus on it, or it's just
Nope,
split?
just
No.
spread out over 2 LPs, just like you do with Facelift.
Yeah.
And I think that's what everybody's got their fingers crossed for. And then the Smashing Pumpkins,
Yeah.
Machina, however
Yeah.
they say it.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
One
yeah.
of- yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's-
those are the on that end.
Okay. And
That's
then
what everybody's waiting for.
I know We got Pink Floyd Animals, the
Yeah.
remix, the 2018
That might
remix.
be the biggest that everybody's waiting for because it took so long.
Right.
Right.
I think in terms of anticipation
Yeah,
on it,
Pink
I think
Floyd's
there's
gonna be
that.
huge.
But I know everyone's bummed there's no bonus material on this thing. It is just a remix. They didn't even put the original album with it,
Nope.
which I thought, like, if you're gonna do a box set and have the original mastered album, have
Yeah.
your remix,
Yeah.
Maybe get some postcards.
and a live album or
Right,
something.
exactly.
I mean, no marbles, right?
Maybe
Yeah, a bag of marbles and postcards.
a lock of Gilmore's hair.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe a pigtail.
Yeah.
That would be great. I mean, they could, seriously though, they could put an inflatable pig in it.
They could put an
Right?
inflatable
All right,
pig in
so
it.
why do we all have better ideas than they do? All right, I love this name here. Honey Bunny Bee, MSP.
Okay.
Great
Okay.
name.
All right, these are questions apparently just for me, so I'll start with it. Asking, okay, now that I live in a house, how has my listening method changed? Do I listen to things louder? So, for those of you that don't know or just tuning in here and catching up, I used to live in New York City for 23 years, and I lived in a tiny little apartment that was 350 square feet, and I've just moved to New Jersey. Now I have a 2,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
And so I don't have neighbors, and I don't have to worry about all of that. And yeah, would I turn it up? The thing is, actually, no. That's not how I've ever listened to my music. I've never been someone who listens to it really loud. I like to sit right in front of the stereo, about 2 feet away from it, with the speakers right there. And I know I get all people say this to me all the time. I got to move your speakers further away and so forth. That's just not how I do it.
Yeah.
And I just devour it that way. I don't like to be far away from it. I want to be enveloped in it. I'll lay down on the floor right in front of it, kind of thing, with the speakers like right here behind me. So I've now moved in and lived for 2 months, and the habit has not changed
Yeah.
on it, which is
Awesome.
yeah. I mean, it's like, I guess what it means is it's just, I do really enjoy that. Like, yeah, it happened to come out of living in such a small space,
Yeah.
but it's the way I enjoy it the most.
I find I listen to music louder in my car.
That's true, but then you get the rumble of the road and everything around it. I turn it up, and okay, side tangent. I found I listen to different stuff in the car than I do when I'm home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my car, I've got Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy, Quiet Riot, Condition Critical. So like these anthem, rock, fist pumping type
And
stuff.
at home, you're listening to ABBA.
I'm listening to other stuff when I'm listening to Yes. I don't listen to Yes in the car.
Yeah.
Because it's something. That's a strange
not
aspect
driving
of
music.
music.
It's not driving
It's
music.
not driving music.
Yeah.
There's
I don't
a
listen to
record
Rush
to be
in the
enjoyed.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Something.
I mean, you're not going to put Slayer South of Heaven on when you're eating like your dinner, but in the car, like you want to hear something like that.
It's spaghetti night. Slayer's cranked.
I love it. Yeah, it's like, honey, can you pass the...
We're throwing meatballs
Right.
at everybody.
Exactly, yeah. Garlic bread's flying.
That's the next meetup that we're having here, is a spaghetti meetup.
Yeah.
We should have spaghetti.
Right?
Put War Ensemble on.
And yes, and then have Slayer playing. All right, so if you show up at a future meetup and we're all eating spaghetti, you're going to know why, at least.
It's Slayer night. Yeah.
I'd have 100 of these things. Okay, next one, which is still from Honey Bunny Bee MSB. Love the name.
What's MSB?
I don't know.
Tell us. Please write us.
Yeah, please comment and let us know. Where does the Honey Bunny Bee come from?
I don't know.
Yeah,
But I
mine
love
was
it.
MSB.
I just
I
like-
can understand.
Right.
Honey Bunny Bee, I get.
All right, so
I like the name, though.
yeah,
It's a great name.
All right, back to questions here. Since you buy a lot of albums per week, do you ever buy one that you're not into and then put it away until you're ready for it? And on rare occasion, I will find something like I've been diehard into it, listening to it for 2 weeks, going out and buying stuff, and I couldn't find a particular album. And then a couple weeks later, I go to a record store and it's there. And it's rare and it's hard to find. I'm not going to pass it up. I'm not necessarily in the mood for it. But I will still come home and listen to it, open it, enjoy it, kind of a thing. And then I might file it away. I might not get as diehard into it as I have with previous things, meaning like when I was deep into it. But I don't stick anything on the wall that I haven't listened to.
Yeah.
Even
I'm
if it
with
needs
you
to
100%.
sit next to me for 5 days before I take the plastic
It will
wrap.
get listened to
It's
before
gonna
it
get
gets
right.
Yeah.
It's going to get
put
listened
in its
to.
place.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
once it gets put into the vast library, who
Right.
knows when you're going to get back to it.
You won't see it for
Or
5
you,
years.
Right, or you might forget
well,
you have it.
Well, that's the
Yes.
thing. I forget that
And then
I
you
have
buy it again.
Right.
I've actually forgotten, as I'm going through my collection, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I had that. And then you pull it out.
Great
Right.
feeling.
Which is
Yeah.
That's a favorite.
So
thing
it's
of
almost
mine.
like going to a record store in your own house.
yeah, I do that
It
sometimes.
is.
Yeah.
Late at night, can't go to the record store. It's like, let me just go peruse
Let me
the
pretend I'm
collection.
in a record
Yeah,
store.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I pull off 5 or 6 things, and that's
Didn't
like,
know I had this.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't sell that. All right, this one's for everyone, and it comes from Kyle. Which debut album release of 2022 stands out the most for you?
Debut.
So a brand new band.
Kate Clover and Wet Leg.
Okay.
Just incredible, just really cool. And Morgan Wade, that might have been last year. Those are 3 artists I didn't expect to be taken by. Well, maybe
Yep.
Kate Clover, but the Morgan Wade, country-ish alternative, but it's awesome. Listen to the words, melodies are beautiful.
Right.
The Wet Leg is just, I feel like it's 1993 all over again. I'm a teenager finding some really cool, independent stuff. And then Kate Clover, it's great punk rock, great rock and roll, man. And she's out of LA, super independent. You want to find her stuff, you've got to get it through her website. I will have a couple of the records coming in because I believed in it that much.
Right.
So I paid full price for them, and I'm going to sell them to you at what I paid for them because it's that good of a record. So Kate Clover, Wet Leg, Morgan Wade.
I'm trying to think of some debuts from this year.
I know,
that's a tough question.
It is. It's a very tough question. I can't remember, and I'm totally spacing on the name of the band, but it's one of those Frontiers Records projects where they put the band together.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember. It's not Skills, but it was another one that came out. But they wrote their own stuff. So unlike these other ones that Frontiers Records has put together and somebody wrote the music for them and then the band is just hired to play it, this other one, and sorry I'm spacing on it, but it's like, that one really got me, and I wasn't expecting that.
When you said Frontiers, I was like, because all I thought about was they're putting out the Tokyo Motor Fist.
Oh, yes.
So I hear Frontiers and I get excited, and I hear Steve Brown playing in my head.
Steve Brown is great.
I can't think of any
different
debuts.
things
You just rattled off like 4 or 5 of them. Jeez.
They just hit me in the right spot this year. They moved.
I'll go home and I'll
Yeah.
realize,
Well, those watching can leave comments to help flesh out this one here, and then I will reply back with the one that I'm thinking of here when I can go home and look for it. It's actually sitting out next to the stereo. It has not been put away.
Oh,
'cause
and
I've
the
been enjoying
Patriarchs
it.
in Black that
Yes.
just came out yesterday.
Oh.
Our friend Dan, local Jersey guy, just
Dan
released his
Lorenzo.
new record, man. And that it's
You guys will know him from Hades and Nonfiction. So he's got this new
Patriarchs in Black, man. It is, it rocks. It's killer, man. It's heavy,
I'm buying it today.
crunchy.
Oh,
I got it on hold.
there you
Yeah,
go.
man.
Can't get better.
Yeah, find that record, Patriarchs in Black. You're gonna dig that.
All right, let's see. We've got some others on here. Okay, this one here, Fez Monkey, is asking Anthony, what made you open a record store? You can give a little history here because you're taking over the record store, but you bought this. So why did you choose to do this? And I can answer it for you. I mean, you told me. Oh, I mean, you were just. Andy was telling me, you were saying you always wanted to do this.
Yeah,
You always wanted to own a record
Yes.
store kind of thing. This was a thing you drive around, you'd see places and say that would be a great place to open. So this is something that's been a long time coming for you.
I drove a truck for a little while, and I remember driving around, and the first thing I thought when I would drive past buildings was, record store, that's a great record store, that's a great record store. And I thought, I passed record stores dozens of times because I'm thinking, that would make a great record store. And then 2 months later, I'm driving like, there's a record store right there.
Yeah, they did it.
To the building, or the building next to
yeah,
it.
right.
But I don't know, I just want to, it's like, why do you do anything in life? You just hope to give back to the thing that gave to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So we get to share something so vast and so great and so beautiful.
Yeah.
You said it before.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and you and I were talking. We said when we were kids and we went to the mall,
Right.
our parents would be there. We would make a beeline to the record store,
Yeah.
and we would spend hours in there. And now you can spend hours in here, and it's your own place.
And it's ageless.
Right.
So,
Right? We talk about age.
but you're like you said, you're giving that feeling that you had.
Right.
It's the greatest
back
thing in
to
the world.
reality.
I want you to, you don't have to buy anything. I just want you to come in and feel it, smell it. Maybe it'll invoke that memory that keeps us youthful in our hearts, in our minds.
And I think what's cool too is, and the people on the camera can't see this, but there are a few younger kids here today,
Buying
and they're
awesome
excited about
stuff.
music. Like we were talking to
Right.
a couple kids who were buying Tears for Fears,
Yeah.
and
And Kiss.
in Kiss
Kiss
Unmasked today.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So I mean, what's cool is that when you see the kids getting into it, as well.
Right.
And then you put yourself back into that.
I
You're like, I
immediately was
remember when
11
I was
and 15 again. That
Yeah,
was their
yeah, yeah.
ages.
I
It's
remember
awesome.
when I was that age, and I bought the Tears for Fears record.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting in what you're saying about giving back, and it's part of the reason why I started my channel was for that exact reason. Was I've got all this music knowledge and this interest in it, and I want to share that. I want to let people know about all these other bands and side projects and things that are going on and so forth, and create that community. And you're talking about the
Create
same
that
thing.
community.
you know, opening the record store and giving back and hoping people experience that, and then us doing the Record Store Meetup today
This
is
is awesome.
exactly that. Whether people buy or shop or don't, but come in.
They're just coming to hang out and talk music,
That's right.
man.
Hang out and talk music. I mean, it sounds simple, but getting us all together, it's like, you know, when was the last time that we sat down with this many people and were able to talk music? It's
Yeah.
a wonderful thing.
And I think what's cool about music too, like you have over 10,000 CDs, right? Or 9,000? 11,000.
Don't
I've
get
got
me
like
wrong.
4,000 CDs, 1,200 records.
I've got about 5,000
You've
records.
got, yeah,
And
a
then-
lot
Oh,
of stuff here.
What do
I
you
mean, this
think
doesn't
is-
count because this is everybody.
But what do you have at home?
5,000 records at home.
Okay, yeah, but my point is I just got turned on to new stuff today, just from talking with the customers here and the people here. And that's what's cool about music is
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how much you have,
Right.
you're always going to get turned
It's
on
the
to
turn
something
on,
else.
man. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I need to find that. And then you're searching for it, and you're like, yes, he's got it. So
This
I
changed
know.
our lives. I mean, it gave
yeah.
us some of the best experiences of our lives.
And
in
we're still
music.
excited about it.
Right.
And we're still
Yeah.
excited about it. I made my best friends
Yep.
and had my best experiences because of music.
Yeah.
And this little hole that we have here, we get to
And
maybe
I've got-
do that again for somebody else.
Absolutely, and I've
Yeah.
got some great memories that even go beyond that, where they're between me and my mom, because my mom went out of her way to drive me to a record store when she didn't have to. You know, I remember when in '92, when Megadeth's Countdown to Extinction came out, and they were doing a midnight release, and I'm sitting listening to the radio station at midnight because they're broadcasting live from a store, Peaches Records. And my mom comes in and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I explain that and so forth. And she sits down on the bed and then she just says, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "What?" And then she drove me to it. And it's like, I've got this,
Coolest mom in the world.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
My
And I've got this
goodness.
wonderful memory. I have more memory of that, meaning what sticks in my head of the just that experience and driving down with my mom, than what I actually remember of the Megadeth record release party.
Yeah.
So it's like music gave me that as well. You know, the idea of, yeah, and I went to the record store and all that sort of stuff, but me remembering when my mom, my parents would do something for me like that they didn't have to do. They have no interest in this sort of stuff. So, you know,
Right, and I think
That
that
love
that's,
makes you a better person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Immediately.
well, that's what music is. We connect a memory to the
Yeah.
music. So when a song comes on,
right,
we're transported.
right.
So, and that's
Time
part
is
of it's part of the magic.
On
And like
that-
you and I were saying, it keeps you young too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a memory, a specific memory about a song that'll absolutely take you back to the same place?
Hundreds. Hundreds.
Which one stands out for you?
Ooh, it's a spot movement right now.
You got hundreds, but you can't pinpoint one.
When I was a kid, we were at 7-Eleven parking lot in Nutley, where my father was from, and I was sitting on the console as a young child, and Jack and Diane came on the radio, and as I started trying to sing it, I fell forward and busted my mouth open on the stick shift.
That is not a good memory.
But it
It's old
it was just a great time.
Yeah.
And I've never not loved John Mellencamp.
Well, thank goodness that didn't ruin it for you.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah. And you're a huge John Mellencamp fan,
Yeah.
right? So
way too nutty without
yeah.
it.
And I was telling you about the one yesterday. I was telling you yesterday about NXS. And
Yeah,
I'm
that was a
riding-
great memory.
I'm
Jack.
riding on the train, going upstate New York, and we're leaving New York City, and I'm looking across to New Jersey, and it's fall, and I'm listening to NXS, and at the time, brand new album, Switch, with their new vocalist, it was J.D. Fortune at the time, and for whatever reason, it was just an absolutely perfect moment. That music fit the speed of the train and what was happening, and these colors that were blurring by and everything. And now, if I get on the train, and I'm going up there, and I pass that area, even if it's not fall, the NXS album goes off in my head, and half the time whatever I'm listening to gets changed over to NXS. I have to keep that album on my phone at all
So cool.
times, because when that memory pops, I got to listen to it.
Yeah. I remember 2 albums, Priest Live, that gold covered album, and Live After Death, Maiden.
Oh,
I had those on cassette, and I would put them in my Walkman. I remember just riding my bike all around. I mean, that was back when kids were actually outside riding bikes and everything like that. So I just used to just go out on my bike and ride and listen to those 2 cassettes, I remember. And so, yeah, it just transports you back to those times. Otherwise,
Coolest thing in the world. Even if you're just sitting in your room,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
music room, whatever
Right.
room you're in, you're sitting down eating dinner and a song comes
Yeah.
on, and the fork doesn't hit the mouth because it can
Yeah.
go right back
Like,
to that time.
Oh,
that the
this
song's
is a
gonna
great
bring you to.
song. Yeah. I have to
Yeah.
stop for a minute and just take it all in.
Yeah.
There's almost nothing cooler than that, man.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
when I hear "Wonderful Tonight," Eric Clapton, I think back to my prom. That was my prom song.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's good.
But
And you still remember who you took to prom and everything, or do you?
No, I
You
yeah,
just
actually I
remember
do.
the-
Yeah,
oh,
but I
okay.
remember the song. The song was actually better than the prom.
Yeah.
You know, but, so,
Aren't
yeah.
they all?
Yeah, exactly right.
Right.
Yeah.
So Fez Monkey asks, who's your favorite band? Most people know mine is Pink Floyd.
Impossible. I won't do. I mean, gun to head Clash.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah.
you know, I can't. How do you discredit all the things you love? How do I
No, you
take
don't.
Soundgarden out? How do I?
Yeah.
How do I not include Stevie
But if you
Nicks?
can only take one of that band to a desert island, I
Can't do it. I don't think I can do it.
Well, it's
because
hard when you listen to a lot of different
then you don't
genres
get to
too.
take anything.
I'm going alone.
You're going
I'm going
alone.
with my memories.
Ah.
Oh man.
I can say some of my favorite bands. Like I
Okay.
love Kiss. I love Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I love Johnny Cash. Those are
quite a
like,
mix.
yeah, those are 3 for me.
Can we bring 10 records? 10 records with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little more doable.
I mean,
Yeah.
Pink Floyd is up there as well. It's
I would
tough.
take Mellencamp.
It's tough
Yeah.
to narrow it down to one though.
No, it absolutely is. But I mean,
Soundgarden.
like
One
you
from
said-
one from each genre. Can we do that?
Oh yeah, right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, when we follow so many different
Yeah.
eras, I should say, and so many different periods of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all through late '60s into the '70s, '80s, early '90s, and then whatever those guys continue to do there on
Yeah.
out. So it's like trying to take all of that and put it into something.
But then, where were you
yeah,
Yeah.
with that particular record? Do you
Right.
want a record? You're stuck on a desert island. Do you want a
Yeah.
record that's going to remind you of all these wonderful times in life that you're never going to have back because you're going to die on a desert island? Essentially, probably what's going to happen.
Right, right.
Right? Or do
Well, you had
want,
mentioned the Clash, right?
Yeah.
So Sandinista would be a great album because you got a lot of different styles of music on there.
But so that brings me to a place in time
Yeah.
where life is not open to me anymore. So I would have to find a record
Yeah.
that reminds me of that point in time when I really fell in love and discovered
Right.
music, and it reminded me that the world is limitless. That's where my records are coming.
Right.
So that would be Pearl Jam's 10 or Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger,
Right.
Nice.
because I was 12, 13 years old, and I didn't have memories to draw upon
Right.
or experiences with that music to base a memory upon it. Just that openness of life. Those would be my desert island records, because you're gonna die on a desert island, and every time you play that, life is limitless.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
All right, as we start to wrap things up here, and since we're in a record store today, I want to know, what is your favorite record store experience that you've had, whether it's from kid or present day?
You
or
should go
anytime?
first.
Oh,
Or
well,
did you already share it?
yeah,
Mom?
yeah, the
that's
one
it.
with the one with
Okay.
the mom going to the midnight release.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. You know, I actually played at a record store because I play guitar as well.
That's
and I
cool.
do singer-songwriter type stuff.
Very cool.
And we had a store near us called Media Play. I don't know if they had those down here or whatever.
Yeah, I don't.
But I played live at a record store, so I thought that was pretty
That
cool
is
because I
pretty
felt
cool.
like I was like, all right, cool. Like you feel like as a kid when you've made it. 'Cause
Right,
I was
right.
I think I was in high school.
Right.
I'm like, I'm playing at Media Play.
Well,
But
yeah, and you probably-
thinking back now, I was like, it wasn't that big of a deal. But as a kid,
Oh yeah.
you felt like a rock star.
No, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, that was pretty
I
cool.
mean, I know that, I go and see artists, do little acoustic sets or something in record stores and have some
Yeah.
great memories of those.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can imagine you getting that opportunity to do
Yeah,
it.
it was
doing-
really cool.
Doing
It was
similar
really cool.
thing.
I mean, but we've all been in so many record stores.
Yeah. Oh,
Every time I
absolutely.
walk into a new record store, even the same record stores,
Right.
knowing they're gonna have different stuff,
Yeah.
I would say that every time I walk into a record store is my favorite memory of a record store.
It is a pretty good one when you walk in for the first time. I mean, I've mentioned it here before, but walking in this one here, it was like the first thought I had is, I'm home.
Yeah.
It was just coming in here, and I was like, you guys have seen my Let's Go to the Record Store and the Record Store Experience videos. I've hit a lot of stores, 10 of them in New York City, 5 of them so far in New Jersey, so 15 different stores that I can compare against. And I'm not even talking about the ones, what I call original stores, the Tower Records, Virgin, Peaches, whatever you went to, Trax,
I
Coconut
used to
Syrup.
love Virgin
so
Megastore in
many.
the city.
Correct.
was
So we're not
awesome.
even talking about that kind of stuff, but it's like the real old school record store type thing. Walking in here, I was like, this is what I've been looking for about 30 years now, since these things have started going away and disappearing, kind of a thing. So yeah, that first moment of walking in and knowing that, like, oh my God, I'm gonna find some great stuff today.
And even if you
Yeah.
don't, that
You have a good experience.
that boom of that opening door is everything.
Well, coming in here, and you guys can hear it in the background. I mean, we're playing some ZZ Top right now. We had Skid Row on earlier, and there's been tons of stuff. Rock music in a rock store while you're shopping for music.
Yeah.
Because most places I go into are not playing this or playing the pop hits off the
Yeah.
radio and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not what I'm into.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you walk in to a record store and you hear good music, and you come in, and the people who work in the store want to talk music, like Anthony here.
Yeah.
Loves, and again, thank you so much for joining us on this video
Thanks
and
for having me,
opening up
everybody.
your store to us here. And of course, Chris Profi here.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
going to leave a
awesome to
link
meet
to
Chris.
his channel, if you guys know, the CD and Vinyl guys. But you know, coming in and doing that and feeling that experience and talking music and hearing music. So yeah, even if you walk out not buying anything, you just had a great interaction. And I
That's
think
what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's all I hope to offer and
Right.
give anybody is that
Yeah.
as a human being,
Right, right.
not as a shop owner, just as a human being, I want everybody to have that
Yeah.
when they leave any.
And that's the real thing about music stores. Real music stores have that community and interaction.
I like what I like about this store too is that I see a lot of stuff I don't see everywhere else. Like you go to record stores and a lot of times you start to see the same stuff over and over.
True.
Here, you've got a lot of CDs, cassettes, and even vinyl that I haven't seen in a long time.
Right.
Which is really cool because you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this since I was a kid.
Right.
Or I've never seen this version of this CD.
Right.
Or yeah, and it's a lot of hidden gems.
Yeah, totally.
Here, which is
And
really cool.
sets this
and this is
store
the
apart.
second time I've been here. I think the first time I spent like 3 hours here,
Yeah.
and today we've already been here for a few hours.
Right, exactly.
And
2 hours.
and every time,
Well,
and
we got
I,
here at 9, so we've actually been here for 3 hours.
yeah, and I started
already.
looking through another section. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to
did
get
this
that.
come
I want to
from?
get that. I want
Right,
to,
right.
you know. So it's a lot of hidden gems. Yeah.
So I think we'll wrap it up because Chris obviously wants to get back to shopping here.
I've
I
already
know-
got a pile started. In
Yeah,
my bag,
everybody
so.
else does. So thank you guys for joining in. Thanks everyone
you all
for
very much.
the
I appreciate
questions.
it.
And we'll be talking to you soon. Bye everyone.
See you later.
Bye.